Hey, all right, everybody, look, I've got another big box. Right, okay, so what is inside this box today? Well, it's a Cyrusher and it ends with Pro. And we all like the word Pro on the end of our e-bikes. So let's have a look what's inside the box, then get the bike right by here. Right, okay, so in the box was the front headlight there with some brackets. You've got to put that on. Then we got the charger and the leads. We've got the pedals. We've got a bell. We've got a couple of tools and a manual. Front axle. Then we've got the front mudguard. Then we've got the wheel. And I will say, you might have more tools than this because this was an unboxed promotional e-bike. So it's already been put together and I'm taken back apart again. So this is what I got inside the box. And here it is, all put together. But look at the colour, which is a little bit unusual because the last bike I did was also yellow. Right, okay, now looking down here, look, have I mentioned Pro? It's got the words Pro, and we all like the words Pro. So at the front here, I have got this on as high a setting and as far back as possible. I think that is about as high as it can go. You've got front suspension, you've got rear suspension. Now, when we go out in the open road, I will show you that this suspension works absolutely fantastic. This setup here is brilliant. Now, at the back there, look, we've got a rear rack, 25 kilograms. Down by there, probably houses the controller, and you've got the battery that drops in down this way, which is good. And then nice big hub motor at the back. But hey, this is what it looks like with me sitting on the bike. I'm 5'10", 178 centimeters or 1.78 meters. I haven't got the seat up that high. Handlebars, that is as high as they go. So if you do put the seat up higher, you will be leaning forward a little bit more. But it does feel like a very comfortable position. And the suspension on this bike is fantastic. But we'll find out what it's like on the open road a little bit later. Okay, up here on the handlebars, you've got your 7-speed Shimano. There's the display. Here's your buttons, and the light button is under there. So let's turn it on so you can see what the display looks like. Let's wait for a second for it to turn on. Here we go. And it is a very nice display. You've got your plus and minus buttons. You've got your function button there, or settings, I should say. On-off button in the middle, and then your walk function by there. Okay, looking here at the wheels, tyres and brakes, 180mm discs, hydraulic brakes, then we've got 20-inch wheels and 20x4-inch tyres, and they are branded CST BFT. Now the battery here, 52 volts, 20 amp hours, and the motor in the back there is 85 Newton meters. Okay, here at the back, I'll turn the light on for you. There's the rear light, and there is the brake light. Lovely and bright. Let's have a quick look at the front light. There we go, so you can see the front light shining against the wall, and I'll come round here just so you can see it that way there, look. There we go. There's the front light there as well. Right, okay, here we have the magnet of truth. So, the rear rack there, that rear rack there is some form of aluminium. The frame here, look, is some form of aluminium. The seat post, some form of aluminium. The pedals here, look, the pedal arms and the pedals themselves, some form of aluminium, and the wheels are some form of aluminium. Up here on the handlebars, and they are also some form of aluminium. And the mudguards, they're plastic, so it's mostly some form of an aluminium construction. Right, okay, so that was a look around the Cyrusher Kommoda Pro. Let's get this bike out on the old open road. Right, okay, here we are out on the old open road. Now, I gotta say, I've been riding this bike for about, I would say, half a mile, and so far, it's a fantastic bike. Now, it's got a torque sensor combined cadence sensor. Now, it might be a little bit different to the Cyrusher bikes because you can't change between the two. There's no way on the settings to change from one to the other. So I'm going to try and explain the best way I can how it works, and I think it's fantastic. So let me come to a stop, like so. I'll come to a stop, and then I'll go to pedal off, right? And because it's a torque sensor, instantaneously the power comes in, okay? It comes in slightly tapered, but the power is there straight away. Now, as you start pedaling faster and faster and faster, and let me go across this crossing first. Let's just go across here, and I'll try and explain. Now, so we're in torque sensor mode, and as you go faster and your legs start pedaling faster, all of a sudden it goes from torque sensor to cadence sensor. So all I'm doing now, my legs are just going around and they're not pressing on the pedals at all. So I'm going up this hill, and it's sort of, like I said, I'm hardly pressing on the pedals, and the faster you go, the more it turns into a cadence sensor. I hope that makes sense. So when you pull off, torque sensor, torque sensor, torque sensor, torque sensor, cadence sensor as you start pedaling faster. And then when you slow down and you start slowing down, and then I press on the pedals again, it goes back to a torque sensor. Isn't that rather nice? Now I'll come to a stop by here, like this, and we'll just see how fast it gets to the top speed of 15.5 miles per hour. I've got it in gear 4, so we're going to have the torque sensor come in straight away. So ready, steady, go. There we go. So we'll see how fast it gets. It's picking up quite fast, and there we go. 15.5 miles per hour. So it does get to that top speed very quickly, because like I said, the beauty of the torque sensor is it comes in instantaneously. You don't have to rotate the crank at all. Now what we're going to do next is go on the road by here, and then we're going to turn right and go up a big, massive, huge hill. Now the big long hill is just around this corner in front of me, and we have got a 52 volt 20 amp hour battery. Now a 52 volt 20 amp hour battery will give you about 8% more range than a 48 volt 20 amp hour battery. So there is more range in a 52 volt 20 amp hour battery, and it gives you a little bit more power. So this hill goes on for, I don't know, it's quite a long hill. So we're going to go up here. At the moment I'm in gear 4, and we will stop halfway and try the walk function, but at the moment it's going up here very, very easily, which is nice. And I can feel that it's in sort of torque sensor mode, because I'm going up a hill now, and because my legs are going around slower, it is in that torque sensor mode. So I assume if I put it in a higher gear and my legs go faster, then maybe it might go into cadence sensor mode. But we'll try that as we get around the corner now. Now I'm still in gear 4, and we're still going up the hill okay. I think I've got my seat a little bit low though, because my knees are coming up slightly too high, but because it's so easy, it's okay. But I might have to go into a lower gear soon. But so far, I'm in gear 4, going up a massive steep hill. Right, we're on the steepest part by here now, and it is still going up here easy. I think I'm going to go down to gear 3, maybe gear 2, because it is very steep by here. But the bike is doing most of the work. Now, here we go. This is the steepest part. So let's pop off the bike, like so, and we'll try the walk function. Now, on this bike, it has got a dedicated walk function. So let's press the walk function in like so, and then we'll go up the hill like this, and I'll tell you how it feels. So it's taking the weight of the bike, it's actually accelerating. But I think I can hold it back. Let me see. So I can hold the bike back quite easily on a walk function. So it doesn't exactly drag you up the hill, but it does take the weight of the bike. It gives you ever so slightly, it's slightly pulling me up the hill, very ever so slightly. So the walk function is at decent speed. It takes the weight of the bike, and it'll give you an ever so slight pull up the hill. Now, here's a good test. I'm on the steepest part of the hill, so can I pull off with the torque sensor? I've put it in gear 1. Let's just see if we can pull off on this massive steep hill, because it's going to engage straight away. So let's give it a push like that, and there we go, and we're away. And I gotta say, this hill by here is steep, and it has pulled off lovely and easy. Anyway, I'll see you at the top of the hill. Right, okay, there we go then. I've made it up to the top of the hill, and I gotta say, I'm gonna give this bike, you know, good marks for getting up hills. Hello. Hello. Right, okay, just had to stop and have a chat with the cow and the calf then. So I'm going to make my way back down the hill. I'll just pull over to the side a second, because I want to talk about the seat. Right, okay, the seat. Now, before I talk about the seat, I got to mention the suspension. And I'm going to say that this is probably, this suspension here, on these type of bikes I've tested, that's probably one of the best suspensions I've tested. The front suspension's good, but the rear suspension is absolutely fantastic. It's amazing. Now the seat here, look. The seat feels to me, it's soft there, look, right? But it's a firm soft, and it doesn't go down far before it hits like firmness. Like but there, especially by there, for instance, right? But there, you can only push it a little bit before it hits something firm. So I would say, beautiful suspension, fantastic suspension, but the seat is a little bit too firm for my liking. So I think a slightly softer seat would make this 100%. If it was a slightly softer seat, suspension fantastic, seat a bit firm. Anyway, I'm going to carry on down that way. Right, okay, so we haven't done a brake test yet now. 180mm discs, hydraulic, and they're branded Logan. So I'll get to 15.5 miles per hour. Make sure there's no cars behind me. I'll get on the flat bit by here, check again. 15.5 miles per hour, almost. It's going to be a little bit faster. 3, 2, 1, go. And there we go. And that stopped very, very well. Let's go past this car. And I'm going to say that stopped very, very, very well. There's a bit of loose gravel on the road there, so I might do that test again, and we'll try it one more time, because there was a bit of loose stuff. So we'll get down by here, try and stay at 15.5 miles per hour, Ready, steady, go. The road is a bit loose gravelly, but the brakes are stopping really, really well. I can't help the skidding at the back. I mean, I could try and go back a little bit, I suppose, but I'm going to say that the brakes stop you really, really well, and you don't have to pull hard on the levers to stop yourself. So I'm going to give the brakes a very good score. Now I'm going to ride a little bit further, and I'm going to go to this place maybe half a mile away or so. I'm going to stop there, and if you like views and the sun stays out, I'm going to show you a beautiful view. So stay tuned for a fantastic, beautiful Welsh view. It's this way, so let's get going, and we'll catch back up when I actually get there, because I've got a few hills to go up and down. Right, okay, there we go. There's the beautiful view. I'll try and go across as slow as possible. And as I come across by here, you should be able to see the sea over in that direction over there. But the views by here are absolutely fantastic. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful views. Here we go. Now, we have got a bit of a hill. We have got a bit of a hill by here, so I'll try and pick up a bit of speed. It's not this bit of hill, it's a bit further on. This one's not long enough. But we're doing 22 already. I got to slow down for this corner because it's a bit dangerous. So I'll try and keep my speed up as we get to this next bit of hill. And then we'll see what this bike is like at speed. Hopefully, if we can get some speed up. Round the corner, I should say. Right, here we go. We should be able to pick up some speed down here, hopefully. The road's quite nice. Here we go. 29, 30, 32, 33, 34, 34.7. I'm slowing down. And this bike feels superb at speed. Absolutely fantastic. Do you know what? I didn't mind the speed at all on that bike then. Almost 35 miles per hour. And there we go. That was very, very good. I got to say, it felt really planted at speed. It's just a great bike. Anyway, got a big, massive hill to get up now. But I came down in nice and fast. Let me just pull over for this car behind me, because I don't want to be one of them bike people who... Oh. Let's go in by here. Right, there was a car and a van. So, what gear are we in? We're in gear 3. We're on a big steep hill. We're by Cum Farm Livery. Let's get going. And this hill is steep, okay? It's steep. I know it doesn't show on camera. I know you're all saying, oh, that hill doesn't look steep. Trust me, it's steep. Would I lie to you? Oh my God, what's this behind me now? Motorbikes. And they're going up the hill easier than me. Now, there's a few different colours for this bike, so I'll put the colours of the bike on the screen now. So there we go. That's the colours of the bike. That's the choice you got. A few different colours there to choose from. And I've obviously got the bright yellow one. And I do like it. I do like a yellow bike. Anyway, let's carry on down this hill. Tractor! You never know what's coming around the corner when you're on the Welsh mountain roads. Now, this is the Pro version, and I have to say that it does feel pro. It does feel pro. It feels like it's just a very nice bike to ride. Now, if I had any criticisms of this bike, there'd be two minor ones. The seat is ever so slightly too firm, and I would say that I'd like the handlebars to be, this is my personal preference, mind, I'd like the handlebars to be a little bit higher, because I like to sit up straight, and because the handlebars are low, if I move the seat up, then I'll be bending over, if you know what I mean. but you can change the handlebars yourself, and handlebars are relatively cheap, so you can change that yourself. It doesn't cost a lot of money. And if you look at my videos, I've changed loads of handlebars. Right, okay then, that's my review of the Cyrusher Kommoda Pro, and all the links will be down in the description below. If you did like this video, don't forget to subscribe, comment, hype, do all them beautiful things, and I'll catch you in the next one.